prevent burnout, you have to learn to put the brake on stress. Now, how do you do this? Well, over the last 4 weeks, we've been diving into the science behind stress and burnout. This is the fourth video in my 4-part series on effectively managing stress. So if you missed the previous videos, be sure to check them out. I'm not going to go over this information today because I want to dive right into 3 tools for putting the brake on stress. These are also called self-regulation, our nervous system regulation tools. Now, we unpacked how stress is directly connected to the nervous system. And in order to put the brake on stress and prevent chronic stress and burnout, we need to learn to regulate our nervous system. The good news is that we have a built-in system of regulation. We don't have to learn how to regulate. We just have to stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system for rest and relaxation. Now, last week, I introduced one very simple tool for regulating your nervous system. This week, I want to talk about 3 more tools that quickly stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system and put a brake on stress. Now, the first one is called noticing details, or if you want the fancy word, it's called exteroception. In short, it's noticing the details of objects around you and focusing your attention and senses on those objects. Now, technically, this exercise stimulates sensory cells in your body called exteroceptors, using any of your 5 senses, so like vision, hearing, or touch. Now, what I love about this exercise is that you can do it from anywhere, your desk, while you're in a meeting, at home, outside. You want to start with picking a small object close to you. This could be a cup or mug, an object on your desk, or anything that can be handheld. And then you're going to notice its shape. You're going to notice its color. You're going to notice its texture. Is it smooth or rough? Notice how any light reflects off of it. You can pick it up to examine it or feel it with your fingers to notice its details. Is it hard or malleable? Are there any details you didn't notice before? Maybe an imperfection or something that is really interesting. Okay, then you're going to pick another object close to you, maybe something with a different shape and texture. Examine its details until you notice something interesting or different. The key is to just get really curious and interested in the details of the object. Then you can pick a bigger object, maybe farther away. So something like furniture or a large plant or a painting on the wall. If you're outside, you can choose a building, tree, or shrub. That's it. Then you're going to notice its shape. Really get a picture of the full shape of the object. Notice its edges and the outlines of the form. You decide what's included in the shape. It can be a part of the object or the whole object. What else do you notice about the object? Maybe its color, maybe how the light reflects off of it, maybe a detail you didn't notice before. And you just keep going with different objects until you feel more relaxed. Now, it works really well to go back and forth between small objects and large objects, objects close to you that you can touch, and objects farther away, and also different textures and shapes. As we talked about last week, this process of going back and forth is called pendulation, and it helps to more effectively regulate the nervous system. So that's it. This tool is one of my favorites. It's easy to do. It can be done anywhere, and you basically can use any object that's in front of you. The second tool is called body scanning, or the fancy word, interoception. Now, if you've ever done meditation or yoga, you will have practiced body scanning at some point. We always practice interoception when we notice our hunger or when we feel a pain in our body. This exercise is similar to exteroception, but you are stimulating sensory cells in your body called interoceptors by noticing the sensations inside of your body. Now, there are many ways to practice interoception, but for today, I'm going to share with you one way to deliberately use interoception to put a brake on stress. Now, again, you can do this from anywhere, and you're going to start with just turning your attention inward. Right? So you can close your eyes if that helps you focus more on internal sensations. And what sensations do you notice inside your body? Maybe you feel some heaviness in your stomach or a tightness in your shoulders. Maybe you feel a tingling in your feet or your legs. Just let your attention drift to a sensation in your body. You're going to use your curiosity to explore it. How big is it? What does the sensation feel like? Is it constant? Does it radiate? Or does it turn on and off? Right? There's nothing that you need to do with this sensation. You don't need to fix it or turn it off. You don't need to manage it or analyze it. You're just noticing how it feels. Now, once you spend a minute or two with a sensation, you can find a different sensation. And you keep moving from sensation to sensation until you feel yourself relax. I find 5 to 10 minutes is enough time to feel a shift. Now, this is a great exercise to do in the morning when you first wake up and you're still lying in bed, or right before you go to sleep. I also want to highlight that both exteroception and interoception are tools we use unconsciously all the time. So it isn't that you need to learn how to use them. But what can make these exercises difficult at first is that we are intentionally focusing our attention rather than letting our attention be pulled by our to-do list or distractions or emotions. And your attention is like a muscle. So at first, you might need to strengthen your ability to focus on objects or to focus on internal sensations. At first, your stress might be stronger than your muscle. But as you practice, you will find that these tools are very effective for regulating your nervous system and managing your stress. They're two of my favorite tools. I teach them to every client and every organization that I'm working with around stress. Now, the last tool I want to share with you today is earthing or grounding or co-regulating with nature. Now, co-regulation is another innate part of our nervous system. You can co-regulate with other people, nature, or even animals. In other words, you can use another regulated nervous system to help you regulate your own. Now, this is often what happens when you seek support from a therapist or a coach. They are co-regulating with you during a session. Now, just a note, this also works the opposite way. So other people's dysregulated nervous systems can dysregulate your nervous system. And this is why I always suggest co-regulating with nature, which is never dysregulated. Now, there's been a lot of research done on the effects of co-regulating with nature and also with regards to earthing or grounding. And earthing or grounding is just putting your bare feet directly on the earth. So on dirt, on grass, on stones, and you're connecting your bare feet to the earth. Now, I try to earth or ground for 10 to 15 minutes every single day. But if you can't shed your socks and shoes, you can co-regulate anytime by just being in nature. So when you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or agitated, just go out to your backyard, head to the beach, or find a local garden. Sit in a nature space for 15 minutes. Put away your phone, let your thoughts drift, and just breathe. Notice the trees and flowers. Notice the sounds of the wind or birds, and just be. It might seem really simple, but it works. So these are 3 of my favorite tools for managing stress and preventing burnout. Hopefully, this whole 4-part series has helped you understand the nature of stress and why it's so important that we learn to regulate our nervous systems. Now, if you like this series, be sure to sign up for the Mental Health Toolkit podcast on my website. My co-host, Laura Shook-Guzman, and I dive deep into mental health and stress management and give you a toolbox of 30 tools that you can access from your favorite podcast app. Now, thanks for listening and have a great day.